Hey Star Wars fans, today I'm kicking off a new series on my channel that will focus solely on matchups in a versus style comparison. I think these are a lot of fun and I put a lot of time and energy into the graphics and research, so I hope you enjoy. I will be taking requests in the comments or on my Discord for future videos in these series. Today I'll be comparing the Death Trooper during the Imperial era versus an Advanced Recon Commando or ARC Trooper in the Clone Wars era. I will be comparing armor, gear, weapons, training, experience, strengths and weaknesses, and evidence from canon sources. Combining the advantages and disadvantages from these categories, I will declare a winner. With that, let's get started with the battle. Let's start with the Death Trooper. Death Troopers were elite stormtroopers in the Galactic Empire's military who were part of Imperial intelligence. They served as protective details and bodyguards for important Imperial officers and members of the Tarkin Initiative, as well as being used as special mission experts. They specialized in a variety of commando missions. The troopers were experts at covering their tracks, leaving little to no evidence on their missions as well. Death Troopers were equipped with armor that was much more advanced than the standard white stormtrooper armor. The helmet had a number of advanced sensor and targeting systems to give them total situational awareness of combat areas, enemies, and allies. These various upgrades to the helmet systems included a macro motion monitor, multi-frequency targeting and acquisition sensors, and image intensifying active pulse emitters. Their armor was also covered in a spray polymer called Reflect, which warped electromagnetic signals commonly found in sensor arrays. This made Death Troopers well suited for stealth ops. Death Troopers were equipped with a variety of weapons depending on their specialties. These weapons could include the SC-14R light repeating blaster, E-11Ds, a DLT-19D heavy blaster rifle. They also carried C-25 fragmentation grenades and sonic imploders. The Death Troopers were very versatile and could lay down some heavy fire, especially with the DL-19Ds. They had a weapon for almost any combat scenario, which made them very lethal. Stormtrooper candidates who excelled at their training were reassigned to the Advanced Death Trooper camp on Scarif. They were required to exceed traditional stormtrooper standards, including height and weight, so they were tall and of a pretty sturdy build. They had to meet certain ideological standards as well. Death Troopers were trained in unarmed combat, heavy weapons, and sniping. The candidates were also subjected to a battery of physical tests and classified surgical enhancements, making them beyond human. Additionally, Death Troopers had to complete more rigorous training than the standard stormtroopers, including training in exotic environments, and they were mostly assigned in small groups, with each trooper in the squad specializing in a specific skill set. Now that we have done an analysis of the Death Trooper, let's look at the ARC Trooper. Standing at 1.83 meters tall, about 6 feet, Advanced Recon Troopers or ARC Troopers were an elite variant of the standard clone trooper. They were widely regarded as the best soldiers in the Grand Army of the Republic. They were chosen from the ranks of the Grand Army of the Republic, and the status of ARC Trooper was bestowed on clones who served with distinction on the battlefield. They trained others and were sent on challenging assignments less suitable for the standard clones. They were given their own unique armor set, which differed greatly from the standard issue kit given to the rank-and-file clone soldiers, being equipped with a lot more components. During the early days of the Clone Wars, ARC Trooper armor served as an experimental version of the Phase 2 Clone Trooper armor. It featured additional gray protective plating on the forearms, lower legs, and torso, in addition to having various ammunition pouches. It was also equipped with a pauldron and comma, as well as a survival pack. ARC Trooper standard weapons were the DC-17 hand blaster and DC-15 blaster rifle. The rifle boasted 300 shots on max power. It was a larger, heavier, and more powerful long-range alternative to the DC-15A blaster. They also wielded several types of grenades, including EMP grenades and thermal detonators. ARC Troopers, like any other clone trooper, received the same rigorous training as its peers on Kamino. Similar to Death Troopers, they were the best of the rank and file and were handpicked by command. Since birth, they had been training for war, and as an ARC, they had been proven on the battlefield. ARC Troopers were trained to serve in positions of command in the Grand Army of the Republic and showed great leadership. In addition, the ARC Troopers also trained the first wave of clone commanders. Alright, so let's compare the two. While I'm a huge fan of the Phase 2 clone armor, the Death Trooper armor has years of improvement upon it. The stealth enhancements and advanced sensors and targeting systems made the Death Trooper armor superior. Plus on the battlefield, bright color white soldiers and bright colors, or black. You know who have the advantage at night. Advantage goes to the Death Troopers. The major comparison here is the main weapons, as the secondary weapons and grenades are mostly comparable to one another. So you basically have the DC-15 rifle versus either the E11D or the DLT-19D. The DC-15 rifle is superior in its power to the standard DC-15A or the basic E11, but when you throw in the DLT-19D, the Death Troopers have the superior firepower. I mean, those weapons are still used by the First Order. The advantage here goes to the Death Trooper. At a minimum, ARC Troopers have 10 years of training before live action. Any Imperial training is far less than 10 years before their first assignment, although some academies did begin training cadets as young as 13. We can assume that both training regimens were hard, whereas a clone received more focused training on war, and the Death Troopers received more specialized training focusing on protection and covert ops. It is hard to go against an ARC Trooper as day in and day out they were faced with war and new challenges to overcome, new environments, new scenarios, daily. Clones were bred and meant for war. The years of training being bred for one thing along with battles constantly give the clones a significant advantage here. The Death Troopers hold the advantage in overall standard equipment without giving the ARC Troopers some kind of specialized weapons. So if you want an old Western standoff and they literally just turn around and shoot each other, the Death Trooper would be the last one standing. In hand-to-hand combat, the clone would have much better experience. Clones get in the face of danger and use hand combat skills frequently in battle. Death Troopers, while most likely on average are larger than your standard clone trooper, but just by a little bit, they have less hand-to-hand experience outside of training. The true question here is the body augmentations the Death Troopers received. Are they enhanced in such a way that they overpower an elite Mandalorian warrior? I say yes, but the undergeared elite Mandalorian warrior with more combat experience would find a way to overpower the less experienced Death Trooper in hand-to-hand combat. So the advantage is the ARC Trooper. Now, in a solo scenario starting on opposite sides of a neutral terrain, the Death Trooper's sensors, armor, and covert training would result in the win for the Death Trooper. But in a squad scenario, I think the clones hold the advantage in leadership and general tactics. The Death Troopers do hold an advantage in stealth, their comms channels, reflect armor, advanced sensors. Those things are huge. But the ARCs have the experience to overcome those advantages and win the day. But if you hold this scenario at night, and the Death Troopers, I think will just win this about almost every time. If you can't see them, you can't detect them with your sensors, they are beyond human augmented, they have better weapons, and pretty dang good training, that is just too much to overcome every single time. My final verdict, the winner is the Death Trooper. What are your thoughts? Do you agree or disagree? I had a lot of fun making this video and want to do more, so let me know in my Discord or in the comments what I should do next. As this was my first try at a Versus, let me know any constructive feedback so I can put that in the next video. As always, thanks for watching, and you know how this all works. If you liked what you saw and want to see more, hit that subscribe button for more Star Wars action. I'll see you out there on the next episode of Star Wars Lore.